What is going on, guys? It is FPS here, and today we're going to be going over the problem with every single rank in Valorant. Now, no matter what rank you're in, there is always something to learn about the game, and I'm going to be going over things that you can improve to get out of that certain rank. Now, I have been every single rank except for Radiant. I did start off as Iron during the beta, and I did make it to Immortal, so I kind of know everything in between. Also, before the video starts, all the clips that you're seeing in the background are from my Twitch. I do stream almost every single night, and I do give a lot of tips. I do, have a lot of fun with my viewers, try different strats and different crazy plays, so I would really appreciate it if you all wanted to be a part of it. So without further ado, let's get into the video, and we're going to be starting off with Iron. So the best way to get out of Iron is just to play. The only way you're in Iron is if you're very young and not really used to playing video games, or you are brand new to the game and you don't know the mechanics of Valorant at all. I promise you that if you play ranked on a consistent basis and you play enough, you can grind your way out of Iron, because most people there are not very good, or like I said, are new to the game. Now, I am not one to really blame peripherals for anything like a mouse or a keyboard, but if you are in Iron and you can't get out of it and you're not using good equipment, I think that now would be a good time to upgrade, because even though a good mouse does not make a good player, a bad mouse or a bad keyboard can actually really hinder your performance. So I think that if you are in Iron and you do have really shitty equipment, I think it would be a really good idea to pretty much move up and buy better stuff. Now, I know a lot of us have money issues, including myself, so it's not easy for us to buy new equipment, but trust me, even if you get the best aim in the world, if you have a mouse that's really shitty, sometimes your mouse will not be able to keep up with your aim, and it's going to be not on point, and it's just a big mess. So I would really suggest you buying something new. And if you need any ideas for new mice for Valorant, I do have a video on that, just saying. So now we're moving on to Bronze. Now, Bronze is pretty much Iron. It just has a little bit higher of a skill ceiling, and if you really want to get out of Bronze, all you have to do is practice your aim just a little bit. Now, when it comes to Bronze, it's not really about who can hit the most shots, but it's about who misses the least. So you do want to practice putting your crosshair on people and making sure that the bullets you do shoot land on your target. Now, also, one major key in playing in anything under gold, you're going to want to make sure that you play the agent that you're the most comfortable with, okay? Don't try to fill. Odds are that, if you want to fill smoke, for example, you're not really going to get the full use out of it if you don't know how to play that character. So that's a mistake a lot of people do. They'll try to fill for their team, but they don't know how to play the character correctly, and in order to get the full benefit of that character, you're going to have to know how to play them. And to be honest, gameplay in Bronze is just not strategic enough to really get any full benefit out of any character. You can pretty much go, no smokes your entire night of playing in Bronze, and you'll most likely win if you're halfway decent. Now, next we're going to be talking about Silver. Now, Silver is more important because this is where you have to learn crosshair placement. Now, when you're in this rank, you're going to want to make sure that you peek angles correctly and that you keep your crosshair at head level at all times. Also, in any rank under gold, you're going to want to make sure that you don't crouch whenever you shoot. Now, this is a bad habit in general, but most people at lower ranks tend to have their crosshair at body level and not head level. So crouching will mean that you'll be putting your head right into their crosshairs. At this rank, you're also going to want to try your best to calm even if you're playing with randoms, because you are going to need some kind of strategy to win in Silver. Even though most people in Silver are not really mechanically good, they are going to try to strat somewhat. So if you're just running around like headless chickens, you're not really going to win against an organized team. Now, moving on to Gold, and probably one of the most important ranks in Valorant. Gold is where you have to master your counter strafing and jiggle peeking to try to bait out shots. Now, to be honest, people in Gold have pretty good aim for their rank, and a lot of them will kill you if you give them the chance. So that means the reaction time is going to be a lot faster. You're going to want to make sure that you peek angles completely correctly, because being off by a little bit could immediately kill you. And not only is counter strafing and jiggle peeking important, but you also want to make sure that you know how to control the recoil on your gun. Now, people in Gold don't hit one-tap headshots like in other ranks very often, but they will try to spray you down, which means that if you don't hit the first few shots, you're going to have to learn to control your weapon correctly. This means learning the recoil on your gun and also learning when to tap and when to spray. Now, I know this one may seem a bit weird, but Gold is also where you have to learn not to tilt, because tilting is a very bad habit that can actually affect you a lot in game. And the reason that I mentioned tilting in Gold is because Gold is a very broad rank. There's a lot of people that are not very good, and there's a lot of very good people in Gold, meaning that your games are going to vary a lot. You're going to have games where your enemies are just brain dead bots running around, but you're also going to have games where the jet on the enemy team is going to be one-tapping everybody the entire game. So you have to accept this and learn that not everybody in Gold should be in Gold, whether that's good or bad. Now, moving on to Plat. Now, Plat is a rank where you can't really play around anymore, because this is going to be full of a lot of organized and really good players. Now, Plat is a rank where you're going to want to try and master at least 2 or 3 agents. Now, you're going to want to pick these 3 agents and learn the ins and outs of their abilities, and you're going to want to try to master them. Now, I would suggest picking at least 1 entry fragger, 1 smoke, or 1 sentinel, or something like that. Just try to mix it up. Don't play 3 duelists, because that's not going to really end well for you if you have to fill. Plat is also the rank where you're going to want to try and fill more often rather than just playing who you're comfortable with though. Plat is somewhat organized, so you're going to want to make sure that you have all the necessary tools in order for your team to win. Picking a third duelist, for example, in plat is not really going to work like it did in bronze or silver. I mean, it could, right? But the chances of success are a lot lower in this rank. Now, for sure though, plat is the rank where you're going to want to perfect your counter strafing and perfect your crosshair placement, because if you don't, you're either going to stay in plat or you're going to go back down to gold. While plat isn't super organized, people that play in plat pretty much know how to play the game on a mechanical level, so you're going to want to make sure that you try and perfect that. Now we're going to be moving on to diamond. Now diamond is a very organized version of plat. This is where you're going to get groups of people that play together and know how to play the game correctly. People in diamond know how to strat and they know how to counter strat, so you're going to have to get into the mind game of Valorant. Now diamond is probably the most important rank in Valorant because this is the rank where you have to learn to adapt. In almost any other rank, you can enter a site with a certain strat, and if the strat is good enough, it'll work out. But in diamond, people are going to know how to counter it, so you're going to have to learn to counter their counter, if that makes sense. This is the rank where you have to learn to get into the head of your enemies and try to guess exactly what they're going to do. Whenever I play in any rank under diamond, I almost always know what the enemy team is going to do because I have a good understanding of how players play. Now yes, this does come with experience, but this also comes with analyzing the game, which I do every single time I play. And the more you analyze, the more you realize just how similarly most players play. So all in all, diamond is the rank where you're going to have to learn to analyze, learn, and overcome. It is also the rank where you're going to have to learn to find the holes in people's attack or defense and take advantage of them. So now we're going to get into the last rank we're talking about today, and that is immortal. Now if you made it to immortal, then congrats, you pretty much made it to the top of the chain. The only real tip I can give you about immortal is just to be more consistent. The only real difference between an immortal player and a radiant player is that a radiant player won more games. So if you really want to try and become radiant, the best thing to do is just to optimize your gameplay. You're going to want to make sure you make the least mistakes possible, make sure you fill, get everything your team needs, and win the most gunfights. Now I know that may sound very vague and easier said than done, but that's really all there is to it. So anyways guys, this has been FPS Cure, and these are tips to get you out of every rank in Valorant. Anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed the video, and if you think that I missed anything, make sure to leave that in the comments below. I would love to learn what y'all think, and make sure to type in what you learned and in what rank you learned it in. Until next time guys, take it easy.